Hey foodies, thanks for watching. I just love strawberry season and I want to show you how to make a brown butter chocolate cake with a chocolate ganache, buttercream icing, and strawberries. So we're gonna start by taking our flour and our sugar and our chocolate chips, our cocoa, baking powder, baking soda, and salt. And I'm going to mix that up. And the reason I'm mixing up the chocolate chips with the flour is that the chocolate chips actually get coated and get a little tiny bit of flour on them, and that helps keep them suspended within the cake dough, so that when you're baking it, they don't all just collapse to the bottom and you get this big, messy chocolate mess at the bottom. Okay, so I've mixed that up. Next, I'm going to put in some hot water, a little bit of vinegar, some vanilla, and 2 eggs. And I'm going to crack my 2 eggs into a separate container. And that's just to make sure that I don't have any shells and the egg hasn't turned. Look at that, that looks great. Oh, there's a shell. And then, finally, I'm going to take some of the brown butter, and all I've done to make brown butter is you melt down butter, and then it starts to brown, and it caramelizes, and it gets these really lovely, lovely caramel notes about it. So I'm just going to put that right in there. Oh, that smells so good. Oh, that smells so good. Oh. I want to get some of the really dark browned butter parts. Oh, look at that. That looks beautiful. Let's put that in my sink. Okay, so I'm going to mix this up. I've opted to not use my stand mixer today. I'm using a hand mixer. You can also do this by hand and just whatever you've got in the kitchen. And if you're looking for a substitute for eggs, you can always use flax meal or just leave them out. And that's fine. Just make sure you add enough liquid to substitute the liquid part of the egg. That went so fast. I'm going to scrape down the sides so I get everything mixed in really nicely. That's a beautiful looking, like, look at that. That's just, it's beautiful looking cake mix. And I think I'm going to do one more little swirl with the mixer. And that's it. And I'm going to scrape down my bowl again. There we go. So I've got 2 9-inch baking pans, and I have buttered them, and I put a piece of parchment paper in there, and I buttered that, and then I floured the whole thing. And now we're going to evenly distribute the cake mix into each pan. Mm-hmm. I think that looks pretty even. So I'm going to spread this out. There we go. And let's spread this one out. And the reason I'm using 2 pans is because it's going to cook a lot faster and it's going to be able to cool quicker. And it's going to cook more evenly. I'm not going to have like really well done on the outside and almost raw on the inside. Okay. That looks really nice. There we go. So this is going to go into a preheated oven of 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 175 degrees Celsius for about 35 to 40 minutes. I'm going to keep an eye on it though. See you in a moment. So while the cake is baking, let's make the chocolate ganache. And I want to start by putting in some whipped cream. And I'm just going to warm that up. And once that's warm, I'm going to add my chocolate chips. So while that's heating, I want to start macerating the strawberries. And all you do is cut off the ends, and you just cut them up into little chunks, and I'm going to put them in a bowl. Our strawberries are all cut up, but I see my cream has come to a boil. That's great. I'm going to remove it from the heat. I'm going to add my chocolate chips. Oops. Get a few of the chocolate chips out of the strawberries. There we go. And I'm going to give it a stir. And you stir it. And the hot cream is going to melt the chocolate. And it's going to just blend really nicely. Might switch to a whisk. And that looks really good. Okay, I gotta check it. I don't know, I gotta try it again. Yeah, that's the good stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna transfer this to another container just to let it cool a little bit quicker. There we go, almost there. And I'm going to cover this with plastic wrap. And I want to make sure that the plastic wrap actually touches the chocolate. So I'm just going to do that. And that's so that it cools evenly but doesn't create a crystallized top. There we go, I'm going to pop that in the fridge. But in the meantime, I've got my strawberries all sliced up. I'm going to grab some white sugar, and you don't need much, and it's really dependent on how many strawberries you have, but you basically just want to cover them with a little bit of sugar just to help bring the juices out. And I'm going to give that a stir. You can see it wasn't a lot of sugar that I added to those. They don't need much. Oh, there's a chocolate chip. And I'm just going to let that sit, and you're going to see the juices are going to be extracted out of that. So I'm going to set this aside and just let it macerate and let the juices get extracted out with the sugar. The cake is going to finish baking. I'm going to let it all cool, and then we'll put it all together. See you in a moment. The chocolate cake came out of the oven. It's been cooling for about an hour, and it looks magnificent. So while it keeps cooling, let's make the buttercream icing. We want to start by putting in our butter. There we go. And I'm going to beat that up. I've been beating the butter for about 2 minutes now, and you can see it's gotten a lot fluffier and lighter in color. I'm going to scrape down the walls. That looks good. Now I'm going to add in my corn syrup. And I know what you're thinking, corn syrup in icing? I hadn't just seen this in an icing recipe, and I was like, I don't know about that. And then I tried it, and I was like, well, it's similar to like an Italian buttercream icing because, I mean, you melt down sugar and you get a syrup, so it's almost the same. And then my powdered sugar and a bit of salt. That's for some flavor. Okay, and I'm going to take the spatula out. And I'm going to mix this up. So that's well combined. I'm going to scrape down the walls again just to make sure that everything gets mixed in nicely. That little bit off my finger. Oh, there's a little bit more. Okay. And then I'm going to add a few tablespoons of heavy cream. I'm not going to add all of that I've got there because I don't want it to be too runny. I think a little bit more cream in there. Oh, why not? Let's put the rest of it in. I think it'll go. Okay, so let's scrape down the sides. Oh, look at how beautiful and silky, smooth this looks. I was a little worried when I was mixing it with the hand mixer because I don't normally use a hand mixer, but when you spatula it around, I mean, it gets that beautiful texture. Oh, it smells really good and looks amazing. Okay, so I'm going to put some of this into a piping bag here. So let's 1, 2, that's probably lots. There we go. Okay, and I've got a large flat-ended piping tip, or round tip, I should say. Okay, and just to the end. Okay, get rid of my icing sugar. Okay, so let's put this together. I'm going to start with that one. Oh, and you can actually see the little bit of chocolate still, which is soft there. That's the underside. It smells really good. So I have a couple options here. I can square off the top, and I think I'm going to do just a little bit off, just so that it doesn't peak up too much. You can see there's just a little bit there. That looks pretty nice. You can see there was a little high spot, that one area. There we go. That looks really nice. So now I'm going to take my icing and just do a really thick layer around the edge. Okay, let's do another layer just to be safe. I'm going just slightly on top of this one. Okay, and now I've got some of my macerated strawberries, which will go on the top, but I just wanted to see what they look like. Oh, they look great. I wonder, are they? Oh my God. They're really good. I could have a bowl of those. Okay. Gotta get another spoon. And that ganache. And you can see just how creamy that looks. So that is just gonna go right into the middle, just like that. We're just gonna, yeah, that looks really nice. And I think I might even put some of this on the top. Okay. You can see the icing is actually holding the ganache in. So now, I'm going to grab this other one and slide the cake over there for a minute. And I'm going to just clean up the top again. And you don't want to get rid of these little bits of cake. You can always make cake pops, and they're great for little snacks. Okay, and that's a little high there. There we go. So now I'm going to put this one this right way down. Oh, that looks beautiful. Okay. I'm going to get rid of some of this stuff. Now you're going to take your offset spatula, and I've just got a small offset here. You might need the larger one, and I'm just going to start icing. You can use the larger one actually. The cake, just to seal everything in. And when you're icing a cake, you want to try and make sure that you're going in one direction. There we go. And the reason why you want it to go in one direction is if there are crumbs, then the crumbs are all going to go in the same direction and you don't have a big crummy mess. You can see little bits of crumbs sticking through, and that's okay because I'm going to go over it a second time. Oh, I got a little bit of chocolate peeking out right here. That's all right. I think I'll be able to mask that when I go around it the second time. Let's just get that. Now I do a little bit on the top. So let's just scrape some down. There we go. I'm gonna make sure it's very soft, and because the chocolate is not going to set up because it's a ganache, it's not going to get hard, I have to be careful that I don't like shove the cake too hard when I'm icing it. That's looking pretty nice. I would say that's pretty good for a crumb coat. It's getting the last big chunks of... There we go, that's better. So I'm going to put this in the fridge for about an hour, and we're going to let it set up, and then we're going to finish it all off. See you in a moment. Well, the cake has firmed up really nicely. I'm just going to smooth out some of the edges a little tiny bit. There we go. And now I can put my top coat on. So I'm just going to blob that there. Let's just put it all on there. I don't need that anymore. I'll keep that just in case. And start at the walls. Oh, look at that. It's going on so nicely. And I'm just putting it on nice and quick so it doesn't melt the crumb coat. So what I'm going to do once I've gone around it once, which is right about now, I'm just going to go around the top. Just make sure that that's... Oh, don't lose the cake. Actually, I need that bowl back. I'm going to steal this bowl. It's got a little extra icing. There we go. And it's looking nice. Take some back. There we go. So nice clean offset, and then just go around. You can see I need a little bit down there. That's better. Need a little bit up there. Okay, so let me go around it once really lightly. go. That looks really nice. Let's clean up my edge. Smooth that out a little bit. Now I've got a star tip here, and I'm just going to put a star-tipped edge. That looks beautiful so far. And let's do a little decorative end. There we go. A couple little okay, and I'm going to switch my tip to a number 5, and I'm going to do some really small decorations on the side. There we go. My icing's melting. Okay, so now I'm going to take some more of this chocolate ganache, and we're going to spread a thin layer of it along the top. Just like that. That looks beautiful so far. And then we're going to take our strawberries. I'm just going to spread them out on the ganache. And I'm making sure that I don't get much of the juice, which is at the bottom. This looks so good. I want to make sure I get every little spot. And I would say that, no. There we go, and we'll do a little decoration. No. I want to leave it as it is. It looks absolutely beautiful the way it is. I think it's time to dig into it. Let's dig in. Oh, it slices really nicely. And I got a cloth here. I'm just going to wipe my knife off. There we go. Let's get a nice, decent sized slice. Okay. A moment of truth. Here we go. Look at that. Oh my goodness. That looks absolutely beautiful. Oh, look at the chocolate drizzling down the sides here. Oh my goodness. It smells delightful. So, here we go. Oh. It's funny, I was wondering if I would taste the brown butter, and it's that subtle mid-note, and it's just so flavor enhancing. It's really nice. The chocolate ganache takes it to a whole new level. If you're looking for the recipe, visit glutenfreeguy.ca. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and LinkedIn. You can also watch this episode and others on Rogers TV. Thanks for watching. That's a good cake.